I guess I consider myself old-fashioned in that, like other terrible hipsters, I shoot film. I like the process of analog photography. And I have a fondness for really old cars. Not classics per se, like 60s Mustangs, but shitty 80s hatchbacks. Love those.
No, I wouldn't consider myself to be old-fashioned or traditional. I think there's a lot of ways in my life that I try to kind of push back against anything that would be considered old-fashioned. And I think it's also easy to kind of maybe tie old-fashioned as a term to like political thinking as well, and like wouldn't consider myself to like politically be conservative or hold on to tradition very tightly.
My youngest brother enjoyed decorating Christmas trees so much that every Easter we decorate a pussy willow plant with little decorative Easter eggs.
My family would always go camping. We only had to go to specific places and stuff like that. I think we've been to one specific campsite in Jasper maybe 4 times now. So
I think my family doesn't really follow that many traditions that have been passed down like through multiple generations, but my dad and I especially have made like traditions together that we follow, like baking pies together.
We used to have a tradition when my family moved overseas, or the most of my family did. We used to have a tradition when we used to live here around like television. So when the show Wipeout was happening on like ABC, where they have to like go through an obstacle course, we used to watch that like every night. So
a family tradition that I have is watching Shawshank Redemption on Boxing Day.
Family traditions, I guess Sunday dinner. I didn't realize that was a unique one until I moved here, and I noticed not a lot of other people do it.
I am Métis, so currently I grew up a lot with not on the reserve, and my father was taken away from the reserve. So a lot of that was something we never grew up learning. Right now, though, after the passing of my grandmother, we're really trying to see what works for us within that. Like my cousin, she went full hard into it, and I respect her so much. But for me, not growing up particularly religious either, it's hard. But I'm starting to go to more drum ceremonies and dances. I'm thinking about going to a sweat or a smudge just to kind of get a feel and see if there's something within that I can take for myself and bring to meaning for myself. One thing that a lot of my family does is when you go somewhere new, you're supposed to burn some tobacco, I believe, for the creator, but they don't smoke just after our family history. So something they do is they leave some change or somewhere small. And with me, I take that and wonder about maybe leaving a small token as well, just because it gives me confidence within that place, and it means I belong there as much as the people around, and I can learn to grow. And that's a tradition I think I'd like to start practicing a lot more, and I'm trying to learn a lot more.
No, like I'm a 4th or 5th generation settler living in Canada, and my parents are both, from England and Germany, and I don't have a lot of traditions that I say would stem from that sort of background.
Not really. I mean, my ethnicity being Irish, not wholly dissimilar to this. I don't speak Gaelic, so other than that, there's drinking.
I would say, I don't know if this counts as tradition, but my family commemorates the genocide, the Rwandan genocide, on the anniversary every year.
But my parents are divorced, but they both kind of do Christmas, even though like my mom's family is technically Muslim and my dad's family is technically Jewish. We're pretty like westernized, I would say, but we don't really go super far into any Western traditions either.
We have special drinking games that I don't think I've seen anyone else do, and we've had to teach other people how to play. Other than that, no. Secret code words and other garbage inside jokes.
My friends from Vancouver, where I'm from, we've all been friends since like grade 1, I would say. We used to always go to like this Canada Day block party, or and my friends here, we really like to like get together and play board games and stuff. But I feel like there hasn't been anything that we've kind of consistently done like every year.
The only thing I can think of is maybe like soccer, because I'm a goalie, and every time I play, I kind of stole something from Thibaut Courtois, and I'll hit each goal post and then the crossbar, and I seem to win a lot of games. So
There you go. It's hard because I feel like the word tradition has like a lot more meaning, and so for me to try to I have habits that I've adopted more recently. Whether or not I would consider those to be a tradition, I don't know.
Since my dad retired and moved to the Gulf Islands, I think, which was like a couple years ago, every year since then I've like gone there for Canada Day because they have this big Canada Day lamb barbecue, and I feel like that'll be a tradition for me, and I'll probably go back every year and do that.
A lot of those family ones I mentioned before, they've started to fall through a bit, just as we get busier and times change.
Yeah, I think like my life has changed quite a bit in terms of my family lives back out east, and I now live out on, in Alberta, and so like the tradition of even getting together for family gatherings, I've like more consistently missed Christmas time, for instance, or those types of things are sort of now evolving a lot as like life progresses. So those are traditions that I guess are starting to kind of like dwindle away.
What other answers did you receive? So there's a man trying to drown his dog. I don't have an interesting answer, so I'm not going to say anything. Is that okay, or do you want a boring answer? Tradition is habitual actions passed down through generations. Not necessarily the best way of doing things or the right way to do something, but something that's already been done. It's kind of easy to repeat it.
I feel like you have a different definition of tradition than me, because I would not classify like every time I meet up with my friend we play basketball or whatever as a tradition. But like,
okay then.
But I just
I don't know. I feel like tradition is just a repeated pattern of behavior. I feel like it's just like something that you choose to do that holds a special meaning, regardless of what the action is.
Yeah, I guess I would define it that way too. But I think it's more than just like habit or something that you do. Like, it's not like a tradition that I brush my teeth every morning or something. It's just like, I think also the relationship part of it is significant too. Like, you might not just kind of let anyone partake in your tradition with you, but if you do invite them to like do this kind of ritual thing with you, it's quite meaningful.
Recently, as I've grown older and family members have passed away, we really discovered a culture that was taken and wasn't there for us. And for now, we're seeing what it's like to be traditional, to see if it can become a part of our identity within our family.
To me, tradition sort of brings up a sense of nostalgia, maybe, and it is something that is like over time consistent and something that you hold on to and feel connected to. And I think for the most part, tradition is something that like hopefully brings a sense of joy to people. I'm like increasingly coming to this understanding and recognition that it's like so important, especially as a settler, to start to understand the traditions of others and sort of grappling with like what your relationship is to other people's traditions and how you respect those and how you honor them, especially with the First Nations whose land we live on. And so I think that like those are traditions that I'm starting to become more familiar with, but would never,